evening, and thanks for joining us here for night number 2 at Michigan International Speedway. I'm Greg Olenek, joined by Brandon Domain, as always, my partner here on Wednesday nights. Brandon, good evening, welcome, and we're ready for a good one. Another cutoff race tonight, a great one last night in the Cup Series that came down to the very end. I think we might see the same thing here tonight. 35 trucks in the field, 75 laps. Big race here tonight.
Absolutely, and when it comes to these 2-mile D-shaped ovals, we typically see some really, really good racing, especially out of these truck drivers. I expect much of the same here tonight. Should be a good one. Some pack racing out there, a lot of momentum racing with a whole bunch of drama on the line as well.
Yeah, track position will be key, and only 2 spots clinched to the next round so far. Just an absolutely insane gap for Ryan Johnson, plus 120 over the cut line with those 2 wins already here in the playoffs. Lane Doyle clinched his spot with the 48-point advantage, but Michael Madden on down, Landon Cardulo, Beyer, Herman, Anderson, Holloman, Park in the tie there for Park, Jensick, and Harris there in 9th. One of those drivers out of those 3 going to go home here tonight.
Yeah, and really, looking at the size of the field, pretty much going to have Madden, Cardulo, Beyer, and Herman just about locked in, if not locked in, at just for starting the race. Anderson and Holloman, that little bit of a gap there, but like you said, that 3-way tie surrounding that cut line, that's essentially 9th, 10th, and 11th. Ties will advance. They're going to be very hard to see all 3 of them still being tied at the end of this race.
Yeah, that would be pretty impressive to see that. Lingerfeld, Williams, and A.J. Pritchett within distance of maybe getting in with a big win and some help here tonight. We saw Sailors do that last night, winning his first race here in SRN. Maybe one of these guys can pull it off here tonight and make that big jump as well, really spoil someone's party here tonight. So another championship going on is that SRN Tier 2 championship as well, $50 going to the winner of this series. And Taylor Smith at the top. Surprising to see Taylor up there, but really good to see, man, that progress through the season is going to possibly pay off here for the Tier 2 championship. 3-point advantage over Jacob Zala. James Kerr 4 points behind, and Meza there just 5 points behind. Big field here, though. That's going to probably get a little bit closer after the race here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely should. And this is kind of an interesting look at it early. We do have the 1 drop week in this 7-race postseason where the Tier 2 championship's going to play out. That's already been factored into all this. So you're looking at everybody's best finish in the first 2 races and how that played out. It's going to start kind of sorting itself out here pretty quickly. I think after tonight we'll have a pretty good idea about who the contenders are really going to be.
Yeah, and then we got 4 more drivers in this field as well. The truck field really big every week. And then you got Bergeson, Purnell, Cracky, and Yost all back here looking to make some noise here tonight as well. So let's go ahead and check out that team championship bracket here. JW Racing going up against Tank Racing, and Dark Tank up against Bar in that 2-7 matchup. Zuyost and Stryker Motorsports in that 3-6. And then you got Rat Pack up against Jonathan Bio Racing. So let's give you an update on that JW Tank Racing 1 versus 8 matchup. And this one's pretty much all but clinched here with that healthy 114-point gap for JW Racing. A solid week last week with Johnson Doyle first and second.
Yeah, I mean, once you got Ryan Johnson and Lane Doyle, who are 1 and 2 in the point standings, that kind of makes anybody else have a really big uphill battle if they want to actually beat JW Racing right now. This gap, by far the largest that we have here on the team side, and it just goes to credit about how well JW Racing's been all year.
Yeah, and just take a look at that average, 106.1 points per race. They're right on that here in the playoffs, staying right to par at 212. Tank a little bit underachieving here at 98 points. They're going to be looking to make a big run at possibly spoiling JW Racing's night here tonight. We'll see how that one plays out, but let's go ahead and check out that 2-7 matchup. That's Dark Tank up against Bar, and this is pretty good for a 2-7 matchup, I must say. Just a 27-point lead for Dark Tank, who had a very rough week last week. Ben Park, their highest finisher there in 20th, and you got Lingerfeld Pritchett there 26th, 27th. Bar was able to make up some ground with their highest finisher being Bobby Anderson. So we'll see if Bar can get it done here tonight. They look like they have some speed out there so far.
Yeah, they do. They do look good, and this is kind of an interesting one because I think both teams have kind of been underperforming from where they could be here in this matchup, and it's let it be a little bit close here. They still got 27 point the gap, so it's still very tight. A Dark Tank came in; they were white hot, but we knew that Bar was going to be a tough team to get by. They were going to be one of those lower seed sleeper teams and all this, and it's played out pretty well actually.
Yeah, so 27 points, the advantage there for Dark Tank Racing. How about this 3-6 matchup against Zuyost and Striker? 14 points to the good for Zuyost. So the 6 trying to upset the party. Holloman, great race last week, coming home in 3rd. And Techmeyer, 9th place, but Herman coming home in 23rd. Didn't give Zuyost the kind of points they were hoping to get that night because Mesa with a great 8th place finish. Castellanos at 13th, and Andrew Harris, who could have easily won that race last week, coming home in 15th. They could easily be in the lead if he did take that race last week.
And on the flip side of the last matchup, this is two teams that are overperforming just a little bit from their averages. You see it there, 81.5, 72.6 for Striker. So they're a little ahead of that pace, and I think it really comes down to one or two guys on each team. I think Troy Techmeyer has kind of stepped up a little bit. He's had a solid season, but kind of picked up the pace a little. Raul Meza also showing up here big for Striker Motorsports, kind of replicating that for their side of it. So this one really a toss-up at just 14 points.
Yeah, and that type of finish for Mesa can really boost his confidence coming into this week. So we'll see how he does here tonight. But we got one more matchup. And, man, all of these matchups for the most part really good. 17-point advantage for the 5 seed over the 4 seed Rat Pack Racing. JBR ahead there, 205 to 188. Michael Madden being the top finisher for Rat Pack Racing last week in 12th place. Nixon and Jensic both coming back in 17th and 18th at the end of the day. But look at that night for Jonathan Empire Racing. That is why they have the advantage here this week, and we'll see if they can hang on to it.
Yeah, they were a little bit behind coming into this race last week, 2 weeks ago, before we had the holiday break. But the big thing, you look at that average over the regular season, 80 if you want to do the rounding there. We expected this one to be close. It is meeting the expectations. This one going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, so keep an eye on all 4 of these matchups here tonight. Not counting out Tank Racing by any means, but they have a tall task ahead with JW Racing running as well as they have been here lately. So let's go ahead and check out the sponsors as we always do with about 2 more minutes before we get out there on the track for some action here tonight. Silverback Tax Solutions going to have our green flag to get this thing started here tonight. Go ahead and check them out if you have any issues with the IRS at silverbacktax.com. Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing. Go ahead and find them on Facebook and figure out how to get that detail kit shipped right to your door. Get that car looking really good here this summer. Butt Kicker coming on board to sponsor the Hard Charger here. They have the best sim gear in the books, so go ahead and check them out. TJ's Team Foundation over at morethanAcape.org. They got our winning moment here this season as well. Can't thank them enough for coming on board. Go ahead and check them out at, once again, morethanAcape.org. But let's go ahead and check out that Butt Kicker Hard Charger standings as they are this week, and this is what they're racing for, the Butt Kicker Gamer 2. Very nice piece of equipment here, Brandon.
Super nice and good value here for anybody that wins this. This running about a couple $100, and just a extra addition that you can add to your rig or your chair, just to kind of add a little bit more of that element to the experience, whether it be racing or just gaming in general. Really nice piece of equipment.
Yeah, so a good battle here between Yost and Cunningham. Just a 3-position gain advantage for Yost, sitting there at 12.8. Cunningham at 9.81, looking like they're both gonna forego qualifying here tonight and see who can pick up the most positions. And Dan Park, Jason Cracky, well within striking distance as well. This is a great battle here this season in the Truck Series. Couldn't thank Butt Kicker enough for coming on board and sponsoring us here for the Hard Charger Award. So as always, want to go ahead and give a quick shout out to TJ's Team Foundation right before we get out on track. Go ahead and check them out once again at morethanAcape.org. Go ahead and figure out what this foundation is all about, and it's a great feeling to have such a generous foundation that helps out these families on board here at Speed Racing Network.
Yeah, they do a tremendous job helping out families that are going through one of the worst times that you can imagine with families that are dealing with childhood cancers and illnesses, and just kind of helps them get by with the day-to-day things, and helping with bills and things like that. Just the things that you kind of put aside when everything starts going wrong, and they just do a tremendous job helping out families. So if you're able, please consider giving a little bit if you're able to do so, or at least just pass it along and see if maybe somebody else would be able to be in that position as well.
Absolutely. So go ahead, donate if you can. Go ahead and head over to morethan-a-cape.org, learn all about them. So it looks like qualifying is all wrapped up here tonight at Michigan International Speedway. Time to get this cutoff race here in the Truck Series underway. A tense night for a few of these guys here, Brandon.
Yeah, this is a very tight night here for a lot of these guys that are going to be sitting close to that cut line. A lot of guys going to be sitting pretty comfortable. One of them, the most comfortable, going to be starting right up front.
Yeah, it's just crazy, the streak that Ryan Johnson has been on. He can't get away from that one, and he's on the pole once again here tonight for JW Racing with a 500th advantage in qualifying. So he'll be starting alongside of Bobby Anderson here tonight, Andrew Harris and Lucas Lyons in row 2. Harris being one of those drivers in that tie for that final cutoff position. Holloman, Jensick there in row 3.
And then we'll have a couple of guys close to that cut line as well. In row number 4, Trevor Williams is sitting 18 points behind the cut line. He'll be starting in position number 7. Ben Park, he's in that tie as well, 18 to the good, but that's not going to be doing a whole lot with that three-way tie. He'll be starting in 8th. And we'll have Dean Gagliano, top 10 runner-up, run a couple of weeks ago in 9th. Michael Madden, one of the drivers that'll be very comfortable today, starting in 10th. Nathan Nixon and Sean Kozier for Rat Pack Racing will round out the top 12.
Yeah, you keep using that word, comfort, and that's going to go a long way in promoting some great racing here tonight. Some of these guys are going to take chances that others aren't going to be particularly very fond of doing here tonight. So, like you said, very tense moment for some guys here tonight on that cut line, that three-way tie in 9th. One of those guys more than likely going to go home. So Ryan Johnson going to lead the trucks off pit road. We got to pick somebody to win here tonight, Brandon. I'll give you first dibs as always.
Well, and you know what? I was a little bit surprised at the starting position here, but I'm going to go mid-pack, but somebody that was very dominant in this race last year is Landon Cardulo. He had about a 6-second lead with 3 laps to go. Late caution comes out, takes that lead away, and he winds up in and he's spun out on the white flag lap, finishing 22nd. I think a little bit of redemption is in order for Landon Cardulo tonight.
All right, I like it, and you've done some research on it. I'm just going to go into this thing, and I'm going to wing it here tonight. I'm going to go with the 15 of Michael Madden back here in 9th place. You used that word, comfort. I think he's going to be feeling pretty good about his chances at advancing here tonight. He's really going to push his luck going towards the front and make some moves some other guys might not want to make here tonight. So my pick being Michael Madden there in the 15.
Hey, one of the hotter drivers here in the second half of the season. Not a bad call at all, and a lot of experience in these cutoff races at Michigan because he and I were both part of one in season number 1, the cutoff race before the championship here at Michigan. A lot of pressure on this style of racing, so a little bit of familiarity with that as well.
Yeah, and it's a track that's very easy to overstep on here. These guys are going to be pretty much full throttle the whole way around this 2-mile oval here tonight, so some fast speeds, like you said, pack racing, and some tense racing at that as the pace car peels off down pit road, and we see that Silverback Tax Solutions green flag waving here in Michigan. Johnson carries them down into turn number 1. The pack spreading out 3 wide already through turns 2. Ryan Johnson all by himself. Andrew Harris able to claim that second position. Puts Bobby Anderson back in 3rd. They single file out here in the top 3, but we got a battle for 4th right now.
Man, that is terrifying, but it is beautiful watching those trucks spread out there 3 wide, 4 wide at times through turns 1 and 2. Ryan Johnson, though, he's all by himself. He's got that 87 right on the tailgate, but nobody to the side of that 48 right now. He'll lead it to lap 1, and yeah, that's a bonus point he definitely needed here at this point in this playoff. But out in front once again, Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, Bobby Anderson looking in his mirror, and he just sees this pack coming up closer to him and seeing Andrew Harris and Johnson putting some distance between him. So the top two trucks kind of separating themselves right now. I think that's going to sort itself out once this three-wide pack kind of single files out. We see Lucas Lyons going down to the inside now. Blair Holloman. Lyons trying to get that fourth position, maybe pull a slide job here. Not sure if he's going to have the room to do so, but it might not matter. He's going to clear him anyway. And now a battle with Bobby Anderson side by side at the line.
And that little bit of a slider happening down there with a slide to the inside in turn 3, and that's going to give Andrew Harris the lead as he'll take the point for leading that second lap of the race. And get used to a lot of lead changes here in this one. If they stay in this pack like they are right now, we saw a lead change in about a quarter of a fifth of the laps last year in this race. Saw 15 lead changes in about 70 laps of racing.
We saw a relatively green race last night in the Cup Series. Just 2 cautions in that 100-lap race, 200 miles here at Michigan. Great race all the way to the end, even though they had that green-white checker that kind of shook things up. A 4-wide battle all the way to the end. I think that's what we're going to be seeing here tonight as Bobby Anderson's starting to get that push back to the front as Blair Holloman sends him down the front straightaway big time into turn 1. He's going to have to woe it up there as he takes the really high line. He's going to have a big run out of 2.
And this is going to be the really interesting point in this early run with everybody still bunched up. Now the tires are getting hot. They're breaking in a little bit. You start knowing what you got in the draft, which you might not have experienced in this degree in practice or any team practice away from the session tonight. So this is where you kind of start getting a little bit more aggressive. And speaking of, contact there for the 45 and the 06 of Holloman and Gagliano. They get away with it. Keep those trucks straight. We stay green.
Yeah, Gagliano was up here in the top 5 for a moment before that happened. Still is, though, right behind Blair Holloman. But now Ben Park going to the inside of the 45. Put Ben Park in the top 5 now. He's looking to make a big run here tonight.
Man, this is such a weird feeling for these guys out here. And we look at the playoff standings as you pull it up, just as I was making a point about it. Everybody that's sitting within about 20 points of that cut line on either side, you start sitting here in Michigan, seeing 3-wide racing, seeing everybody bump drafting out here. They're going 190 miles an hour, if not a little bit faster at times, on this racetrack in tight racing. And you sit there and think, man, I got to run. I can make this move. Man, I can do this, but I got other cars right around me, other trucks right around me. How close this racing is, it is terrifying at times when you're one of those guys that still has a shot to make your way into the next round. I had to experience that in season 1 with the cutoff race here. Just a just anxious feeling for all these drivers here until they really start getting it sorted out. It has just got everybody on edge.
Well, Ben Park, Harris, and Sean Jensick, those 3 drivers tied on the cut line, and wouldn't you know it, all 3 of them in the top 10. So right now, Jensick would be the one going home between those 3, I do believe, without anybody leading a lap or getting a bonus point. Well, I guess they would have a clean bonus point right now, but you know what I mean. It's still very close, though. Ben Park flirting around Andrew Harris there. They're in 5th and 6th. Jensick back there in 10th, looking to pick up a few more spots, get in this battle.
Well, and one thing to keep in mind with that tight racing, Andrew Harris did lead a lap, so give him a bonus point for having that lap led on lap 2 and 3. So 1 point could go a long way here in this one. Andrew Harris picking that up early.
Look how wide this track is. I mean, it's really easy to make it 4 wide, and that's why we'll probably see that at some point here tonight as you see Gagliano to the outside of Ben Park right there for 6th place. So Ben Park trying to work to the inside here and move up a few more spots. Some guys opting to use that high line. A few opting to use that low line. Both seem to be working really well, which has been pretty surprising so far. It's usually just one is particularly faster than the other, but both seem to have their benefits.
Yeah, it really depends on where the energy of the pack is at this point, because you're still going to have a draft. It's still going to have a big effect because these are some long straightaways. You don't scrub off a ton of speed here on the turns because they're still, they're relatively flat, 18 degrees. Oh, Andrew Harris into the wall.
Yeah, Harris, you saw him there in the 87 get into the wall there. Now he's going to go 3 wide back there between Ben Park and Gagliano. They're going to clear him and sort that out quickly, but we got a battle for the lead here. Bobby Anderson has taken that lead, but Lucas Lyons wanting to get in on the mix here. Ryan Johnson right on the bumper of that 18, though. And Blair Holloman slowly moving up here through the mix.
Yeah, Holloman making his way through. That's going to be a big deal for him. 19 points to the good. Bobby Anderson 29 to the good here in this one. And really, you can kind of reduce about, a lot of points there actually with the way that we got that tie that's going right now. So that we could really even just be 10 points to the good for Bobby Anderson. It is so wild with that three-way tie out there. They got to get everything they can. That point for Bobby Anderson could be huge right there as he leads the way. And man, he's been on a tear since that win a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that just like I said, confidence can go so far. So I'm really curious to see how that race last week, where we saw a lot of surprising names, new names to the top 10. Not surprising, I should say, but new names to the top 10. And you just see that here in the Truck Series a lot. The parity and the talent is just great here, and that's what we're seeing right now as these guys just remain 3 wide. This is Gagliano, Castellanos, and Ben Parr. Castellanos going to go ahead and tuck in behind the 8 here and make it 2 wide, get under 1.
And this is a welcome sight that we're starting to see throughout the field for a lot of these drivers. Everything's starting to spread out a little bit. It's going to be a lot more welcome for that front group of 4 because they might be pulling away a little bit from this side-by-side racing. But we were seeing some real squirreliness out there at a point in the run when they're about at halfway through the fuel run, because we do have the 75% fuel capacity. They're going to get about 28 laps, and the back end of these trucks is going to start sliding around a little bit more multiplied because of the tires starting to wear out. So this is going to be that point where you really don't want to be in one of those tight packs at this point in the run.
Yeah, and you can see that when we were looking out the front nose of Lucas Lyons, there is a slight difference in lines right now. Ryan Johnson up to the run about a lane below our leader, Bobby Anderson, but Holloman kind of running in the same tracks here, the leader in the 18, and Lucas kind of running about a half a lane lower. So everyone kind of discovering what they can get out of their trucks right now, because they are just so many grooves here at Michigan, which is why it is fun as it is right now, a tight battle for the top 4.
Yeah, and I think most everybody right now is running the high line in these trucks just because that's where the leader is running. They're trying to stay into that draft, trying to keep it up with that pack and that tight line. Here you're seeing that the inside line still works. I'm pretty sure we've seen Jose Castellanos to the inside of Dean Gagliano for about 3 laps in a row now, and he's doing it pretty much by himself. That inside line still has some momentum to it, but when you get the draft on the straightaways, that's where it's tough. Nice little slider there from the 5, and he's going to cut off that run that Gagliano could have had.
This is the best thing about these types of leagues, because we saw this type of racing last night in the Cup Series race. No matter where you finish, you're always going back to the Discord and just messaging whoever you were side by side with for about 10 or 20 laps and just saying how much fun it was. And that's what it's all about here tonight. And this track is great for promoting side by side racing. Another side by side race right behind them. This is teammates Nick Halda, Dean Gagliano, and Nathan Nixon just looks like he wants to make this 3 wide. You're going to take it to the inside here, the 98.
Always love when you can kind of see it coming, and we might see 4 wide here if Michael Madden gets that run. He almost did. Almost made a little contact, a little bit of a slide up as well for him in front of Gagliano, and Dean Gagliano just keeps getting slid up on, and that is going to get frustrating real quick.
Go ahead further on back in the pack. Give a quick shout out to this 37 who we saw have a great run last week. He's currently butt kicker hard charger of the race, up 12 positions from where he began in this race back at 31st up to 19th, and looking to get some more with Sean Kozier and James Kerr just in front of him. So keep an eye on this 37 here tonight. Maybe going to make it back-to-back top 10s in this 37.
Would be a great run. He's actually tied for the hard charger looking at it too. Landon Cardulo sitting there plus 12 as well, as he's gone from 20th up to the 8th position. He has done that in quick fashion and pretty quietly actually in that very loud neon green 13 Glitch Energy truck. As quiet as he can make it, but he's just inched his way forward each lap. About a pass a lap. That's impressive around here.
Yeah, everybody shows their paints, and we got a caution here.
Jason Craggy. Big wreck. One rolling down the front straightaway. I believe that was the 88 of Travis Anderson.
Yeah, big time damage there for Travis Anderson here in the 88 for Bobby Anderson Racing. Let's go ahead and see if I can cue that bad boy up, see what just happened here on the Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detail and Wreck replay.
Travis having a pretty good start to this thing. He was up about mid-pack, sitting there around the top 20, just looks like he might have come up a little bit. Not sure who that
The
was
36 of Austin Purnell. That's who
Austin
that is,
Purnell. Yeah, that was a little bit hard to read that number, but man, Travis Anderson definitely getting the worst of that one. And see what happens here. A little bit of in line together.
Gonna try to pull up a different cam here. Get a little bit closer to the action. Figure out just what happened here. Just go right above Travis Anderson, who has Austin Purnell coming up right behind him here in that 36. So they're going to go racing side by side and big time net code. Yeah, I'd say we're going to probably make contact anyways. Just a big run for the 36. Not sure if the 88 knew they were coming or not. And that was a ride for Anderson.
That was a Joey Logano at Dover style barrel roll all the way down the front straightaway out of turn 4 to the start finish line. That was a long way there, and that's some pretty heavy net code.
I do. You know I got to do it.
I will talk and look away at the same time.
Here we go. Buckle in. This is a ride here for the 88.
And just getting faster and faster and faster and faster. Oh, my.
And then, perfect. Parked right on the front stretch, out of everybody's way. A big time spin. Did you count how many that was, Brandon?
I want to say that was 8 or 9. That was a lot of rolls there, and that truck still rolling away. It was pretty impressive, actually, but that's probably going to be a night ender there for Travis Anderson after that. And unfortunate with that bit of net code. I do agree with you. I think contact was coming anyway, but it might not have been as severe as it played out.
So this was going to be a 2-stop race if it stayed under green flag conditions. Does this still make it a 2-stop race, Brandon, or can they make this on 1 here, pitting on lap number 18?
They might need another caution to make it on one more stop. It's going to be very, very close. They can get about 28 laps. Speaking of close, wow, Ben Park almost getting by Ryan Johnson for the lead coming off of pit road. They can get about 28 laps, but the thing that's going to change that is if you're the lead truck, it's going to be a little bit less than that probably. If you're in the draft, it might be a little bit more. So if you're sitting there mid-pack, maybe behind a few trucks, you might be able to make it on one more. If you're contending for the lead, it's going to be tough to make it.
So you see Andrew Harris spending some extra time on pit road. He's going to come out all the way in the back after everything sorts itself out. After that pit stop here on lap number 18, there you see putting that one on net code. No penalties given. Ryan Johnson comes out in the lead after that round of pit stops, but the man just behind him, Ben Park, here in second. A 12.2 second pit stop. Did he take 2 tires here, Brandon?
I'm not sure if he took 2. I'm thinking more that he knew that he didn't need a full tank of gas. Maybe he kind of short fueled it a little bit, which might be a gamble. 12.2 doesn't seem like a 2-tire stop. It's possible, though. You're not going to have a ton of wear on the left sides of these tires here in the trucks. They kind of maintain that heat in them pretty well. They don't burn up too much. They don't wear out a whole lot on the left sides. Very possible he took 2 tires. I'm not sure. That's an awkward amount of time on pit road to figure that out.
That's a very strange time, so I'm curious to know what happened. But, hey, works out for his favor right now. He's up to second in that race. And don't forget, he's in that race with Harris now, who is well in the back here. He's going to come out in 28th position after this restart. And he has got a lot of work to do here now.
A lot of work, but the good news for him, he's now got a clean race truck out there, and that's going to be a whole lot better on an aero-sensitive track like this. And one thing I want to touch on, did just go back, look at the replay. Ben Park, 2 tires, right sides only.
Wow, so we'll see. We saw it work last night for Jordan Sailors here in the late end of the race on a 2-lap run. We'll see how it works here if it stays green. Maybe anticipating some cautions here. Very likely that could happen. So Harris going to be looking up to get back in the top 10. Ben Park second. Sean Jensick in 9th. So got a lot of work to do, but can get it done here. Plenty of time in this one. 56 laps to go once we cross that stripe. Pace car lights are off. We're going to see it pull down pit road. The field back in the hands of the 48. Ryan Johnson going to lead him to the line, and that Silverback Tax Solutions green flag is going to be waving here once again at Michigan.
And there's the sign of 2 tires there on the restart as Ben Park, little squirrely getting refired up there. going to lose a pretty good amount of ground, but still going to hold off Brillaire Holloman, but they're only going to be side by side going into turn 1 and 2. Should be Holloman getting the edge, though, a little bit more grip in those tires at this point. It should kind of cycle out pretty well on 2 tires. Left side's not going to be too abused, but it might take a couple laps for the heat to kind of balance out.
Yeah, it'll feel a little weird at first for sure, but like you said, I think they'll normal or equalize out. But he's got his hands full with that 7. And Lucas Lyons, they make contact. Oh, and Bobby Anderson makes contact behind him too.
They save it. Unbelievable save from Ben Park and Bobby Anderson. Jose Castellanos going to shoot the gap, as is Lane Doyle. Between the two of them, unbelievable job keeping those trucks out of danger, though.
Yeah, that made it like 4 wide down the front stretch. Kind of made everybody white-knuckle that thing all the way through that very long front straightaway. But, I mean, look at this action just in front of them, too, with Nick Halda battling Jose Castellanos here. Jose clears and moves up in front of that 49. Jose up 11 positions now, up to 8.
And I would say Jose is about as far back as possible to still make a run at this thing with a perfect storm kind of a night. He's 25 points behind the cut line, sitting there, and it's a tough spot to be in. If he wins this race, though, and maxes out as many points as possible, gets a little help from some of the guys, a whole lot of green inside that top 10 right now. But if some of this kind of falls his way, he's still got a mathematical shot that's not too far out of the question.
So they see Austin Purnell down to the inside here of everybody as they run on by a big-time momentum out of 2. Feels like it's a super speedway when you see the cars going on by that quickly. But back out in front, Ryan Johnson with a very hungry Blair Holloman just behind him. And Blair, one of those drivers, too, who's had a great run through these playoffs, looking to get the first win of the playoffs in that 06. But there's your guy, Landon Cardullo, just behind him. And Lucas Lyons with that red number next to his name, looking to spoil the party for everyone here tonight.
And big dive into turn 1 there to the inside for Lucas Lyons. See if he can hold off that rest of the pack that's still lined up. They're going to get a whole lot of momentum on that outside line, but Lucas doing a good job keeping up there, still in the 3rd position. See if that inside works again. Maybe pick off another spot.
So really hard for the 7 to really make progress. We see some smoke. Not sure what that's from, but no cars on the track. But with no drafting help, it's going to be very difficult for this 7 to make any progress. He's clearly fast on that low line, but not able to get that push down the straightaways that you see in the 06. Give to that 48. And the Landon Cardullo 13 helping out as well. And, hey, Trevor Williams in this mix too. And he's only 18 points back, I believe, of that cut line. He can spoil the party too.
He absolutely can, and I really like the position right now that Cardullo and Williams are in, just kind of chilling back there in that draft, saving a little bit of fuel. Holloman also, but just a little bit less because he's going to be the one kind of pushing with a little bit more momentum there, so he might not have as much of time off the throttle or a lower percentage on the throttle like Cardullo and Williams do right now, but those two back there, the 13 and the 46, really in a great position if this thing stays green.
Wow, Lucas Lyons makes a big dive, slides up in front of the 48, and takes the lead just like that.
Whoa, that might not be making any friends out there, but that was an impressive slide job up to the lead. And, man, when you got a red number next to your name and doing that in front of a pack of playoff drivers, my goodness.
Lucas Lyons yet to still get that first win here in SRN, looking maybe do that here tonight. We saw a first-time winner last night. Jordan Sailors in that Cup Series might make it 2 for 2 here in the Truck Series. The way this 7 is running here this evening, that was a very impressive slide job. Didn't pay off though, as those other trucks got a big run out of 2 on the 7 and get on by here. But man, great racing after the 1/3 mark of this race. And now the 7 taking a look to the inside, maybe going to try and make a pass again here in turn 3, and he sends it in big time again. Looks like he'll come up in front of the 48 and clear him by a mile. 7 takes the lead.
He takes the lead, but that move a lap ago, while it might have angered a few playoff drivers that were nearby, also has a double-edged sword because all of a sudden the rest of the pack closed in once they broke up that line. And now you got Nick Halda, got Bobby Anderson, Jose Castellanos, Sean Jensen, Brad Herman all join into the mix, all within a second of the lead now.
Yeah, the top 12 all within a second. So They are coming up here in a hurry, and Raul Meza, man, going to give him another shout-out back here in 12th place now, up 19 positions. He's up here in the mix within a second of our leader. See if he can get up a few more positions. He's battling back here with the 47, Elaine Doyle, and Sean Jensick there in the 29. Got Brad Herman in the mix too. That confidence from last week or 2 weeks ago at Charlotte proven to pay dividends so far. Running great here from the 37.
Read my mind. I was just about to bring up the same thing. And once you get a good run, it's so easy to kind of have a couple rough weeks in a row, and you start sitting there kind of thinking about it, and you start wondering what's going to happen next. What's the next bad thing that's going to happen? You get one good run, and all of a sudden those thoughts go away. Clear mind, start performing so much better. I think we're seeing that here with Raul Meza. One good run with that top 10 last time out in Charlotte, and now he's right back up here in the mix for another one.
He's in the top 10 now as he makes the pass on Lane Doyle right there and battling with Bobby Anderson, who was leading this race not too long ago. So go ahead, 37. We'll keep an eye on him. I want to go ahead and give an update on Andrew Harris. He's back here in 17th, who's picked up a few spots since that restart in 28th. So he's picked up 11 spots so far. Getting closer to Sean Jensick, who's that guy he's pretty much eyeing right now. Actually, Ben Park behind him. I didn't even realize he was back there in 23rd. Not sure what happened to the 8, but, man, he has fallen off the pace.
That two-tire strategy might not have paid off as well as he was thinking. On that restart, we saw him have a hard time at the grip. We did see that little bit of contact sliding. It didn't have any damage there, but it might have just blown up the tires a little bit more than he wanted as well. Just a kind of a compounding thing there as he was trying to hold on to that position and maybe a little aggressive from both ends of that, from the 7 and the 8. And just kind of a rough spot there. Might have just wore out those tires a little bit more. So we see it all pretty single file, and one I was kind of catching in my eye on side by side. They've broken up now was Brad Herman and Landon Cardulo. Some very tight moments there for a couple of laps. They've kind of got it sorted out now. Whoa! Single file as well. Oh, wow.
Wow, I'm not sure if there was contact there or not. The 47 right on the bumper of the 85, but man, he got real loose there through 3 and 4.
I just saw Brad and Lane both cue up the radio and talk that one over and think they're good now, but that was a little bit closer than I think they thought that was.
Yeah, Brad Herman, you said, was pretty comfortable coming into this one. Yeah, you can't afford to wreck here tonight with a 36 truck field. A lot of points to be had for some of these guys that are trying to make a run here tonight. So, yeah, they probably sorted that one out quickly here. No hard feelings, and eyes forward here on this race. 30 laps completed. Turning lap 31. Coming to the stripe to start lap 32. Almost to that halfway mark.
Doing it side by side for the lead up front. Blair Holloman taking a look to the inside of Lucas Lyons. Blair yet to lead here in this race, trying to make that dive. Lucas did lead at the line that time by. Not as much help. It's just going to be Holloman getting help from Jose Castellanos on the inside. Big line, though, on the outside, including 3 JW trucks right behind the race leader, Lucas Lyons.
It's going on by Austin Purnell there. Once again, 4 cars a lap down. First one being Ben Mueller back there in 33rd. The last car on the lead lap, Walt Lepicki, 10 seconds back of this race for the lead. 3 wide race for the lead as Blair Holloman takes a look to the inside. Makes a big pass there. And now gets a big push from Ryan Johnson as he takes sole possession of the lead, puts Johnson and Lucas Lyons side by side. Jose Castellanos getting in the mix now too in that 5.
Hey, this is a huge point that Blair Holloman just picked up. He's entered this race in the 8th points position, but just 1 point ahead of that 3-way tie for 9th, 10th, and 11th. So not safe by any means. That is a massive point that he just picked up.
Yeah, so every point matters, and these guys know it here. And Blair with a big push to the front. He takes the lead, but Johnson looking very hungry behind him as a 3-win race streak. 3-race win streak. I got it. 3-race win streak, currently 6 wins on the season, and says why not make it 7 here tonight. He is looking good in that 48, looking to make a sweep here in the first round of the playoffs. But Blair Holloman saying, nah, not today. We'll see if he can hang on to it. We're going to step aside real quick, run a quick commercial break, and come right back to this great action.
Butt Kicker Gamer 2. What you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Silverback Tax Solutions specializes in dealing with IRS tax problems. If you are receiving threatening letters from the IRS, or if the IRS has placed liens or levies on your property, Silverback Tax Solutions can help you find relief. We have worked with hundreds of people to resolve their tax problems. If you're behind on filing your taxes, it's never too late to get on the right track. Silverback Tax Solutions can help with that also. Don't let another night go by where you lose sleep worrying about the IRS or your taxes. Head over to www.silverbacttax.com or call 662-996-4357 and contact an enrolled agent today. We can help you gain peace of mind and deal with those problems for you.
Want to be a part of an established league on iRacing? A league that's competitive, fun, and above all fair? Look no further than Speed Racing Network. Originally known as Mid-South Madness, SRN has evolved into a league that can bring the best out in any given driver. Drivers work their way up through the ranks to hopefully one day call themselves a champion of Speed Racing Network. If you're interested in joining, don't hesitate to reach out to league admins to claim your spot today. Maybe you'll end up in the history books. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor in Speed Racing Network, feel free to head over to www.speedracingnetwork.com and reach out to an admin today. And as always, remember to go faster.
Well, right back to the action here at SRN, turning lap 37. Crossing that halfway mark here. Thanks for staying with us. As always, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that little bell so you know anytime we go live. If you're loving what you're seeing here tonight, me and Brandon were talking during the break, and we are just very impressed with the pace and just the intensity and the respect in the race as well. Just overall great race here tonight.
Yeah, there have been some hairy moments, but we've only had the one incident on the racetrack that's brought out our single caution. But this has just been absolutely wild out here for the first half of this Michigan 150. And these trucks, I mean, we're halfway through this race in under 30 minutes. Absolutely flying around here at Michigan. It feels like Daytona with a single file for much of the way. And up until you get to Bobby Anderson, Nathan Nixon, right around the edge of that top 10, that's where we're going to start seeing side by side.
Yes, single file, like you said, 1st through 8th and 9th, going to be a side-by-side battle for Bobby Anderson and Nathan Nixon here, looking good in that 98, up one position from where he began the night in 11th, but looking good, holding on to right where he started. He's got some tough drivers behind him, though. His teammate Michael Madden right there to his outside in 10th place. Halda in 12th behind him, and Lane Doyle just behind him in 13th. So we're seeing some familiar names starting to make their way back up to the front. But we were talking points here in the break, Brandon. It's just really hard to kind of figure out who's going to advance at this point. But right now, Blair Hallman, we know for sure if he finishes where he's at, he's going to move on.
Yeah, there's a good way that if you're above that cut line entering a race and you win that race, you're going to stay above that cut line. So he's kind of knocking out all the questions at this point as we got 35 laps to go this time by. And I think the confusing part is you see that plus 18, minus 18. Problem is all three of those drivers at plus 18 are likely not going to still be tied at the end of this race, which means really they're all at 0. So you can reduce 18 points from everybody above that cut line and just show where they are compared to that cut line. So Blair Holloman, it says plus 19. He's really plus 1. Yep. And now having a challenge here for the lead with Jose Castellanos to the inside.
Yeah, Jose with a big charge to the front, up 18 positions as he clears the 06 of Blair Holman. Jose Castellanos to the lead, looking to possibly steal his first win. Would be great to see Jose steal one here tonight. 25 points back there, 15th place. That could do it, like you said, with a little help. And after what I saw in the cutoff race, like I said, in the Cup Series, I never count anything out.
Not at all. We've got back-to-back cutoff races with walk-off wins in the Cup side. Corey Saucier to get into the playoff. Jordan Sailors to stay in the playoff this time by. And Jose Castellanos picking up that all-important bonus point. And you say first win in SRN, and it would be his first official win. Does have a recruitment race win. I know that because he and I were in that same race at Auto Club Speedway, which is the sister track of here at Michigan. These 2-mile D-shaped ovals, bread and butter for that 5 truck.
Keep an eye on this 29. He's making some noise now. Back up to 4th place after falling back almost to outside the top 10. Jensic now trying to get on by Ryan Johnson. He's got Brad Herman to his inside, though, in that 85. He's looking to pick up a few spots and make some noise here. Wow, Landon Cardulo, a dicey moment there as he almost goes to the outside wall. Not sure what happened, but he keeps it going in that right direction. But Jensic, one of those drivers that you mentioned on that cut line battle, he is feeling good about his chances now, running 5th and trying to pick up a few more spots.
Yeah, the one that's really hurting right now is going to be outside of the top 20. Actually, 2 of them right now. That's Ben Park and Andrew Harris side by side. They're racing for the 21st and 22nd positions at the moment. And this is something that they got to change in a hurry because where they're running, with where Trevor Williams is running, where Jose Castellanos is running, they're leaving the door wide open for somebody to make a big jump.
Yeah, and like you said, that 2-tire stop not really paying off for Ben Park, back in 21st position after restarting 2nd just a few laps ago. I mean, it wasn't too long ago. They pitted on lap 18. They're almost to the end of this run, actually, so I lied. It was a little while ago. But he has paid the price for maybe taking that risk on a long run here. It was hopefully going to get a yellow flag, I think he was hoping, but didn't happen here. He pays the price here back in 21st.
Man, these guys are getting really dicey once again. Side by side, 3 wide at one point through 3 and 4, and we're a couple laps away from seeing green flag pit stops, and they're doing this type of racing. Normally, you would start seeing guys settle it down and start getting single file just because they know that people are going to have to start making these pit stops, dive onto pit road, which is 55 miles an hour, as we're seeing here from the 46 of Trevor Williams, and so he's going to be the first one down. Dean Gagliano, his teammate, going to join him, which is a nice call, get a little bit of a draft assistance there at this racetrack. But these pit stops starting with 30 laps to go, these drivers are going to be a couple of laps short if this thing stays green the rest of the way.
Ooh, it's going to be good, and we're going to see who can really save. Now a bunch of the leaders coming down. Castellanos, Herman, Johnson, Cardulo, Holloman, Anderson, Lyons, Meza, everybody coming down pit road this time.
And man, a couple of those trucks a little squirrely getting down on the pit road from 180 miles an hour down to 55. Saw a couple get a little bit loose in there, and that probably scared about 20 trucks behind them. Staying out, Sean Jensic, he's going to pick up a lap lead. That's an important point for him. Michael Madden might try to stretch it, though a little bit less necessary for him with the point gap that he's built up in 3rd in points. But for Sean Jensic, that is a huge point he just got.
And Nathan Nixon, so 3 Rat Pack Racing trucks here in the top 3. They're all going to come down pit road together. Lingerfeld likely going to come down too. Brings about 5 more trucks along with him. Oh, big hit back there for Josh Mueller.
Kyle Lingerfeld caught up as well, and he's one of the drivers just outside of the playoff bubble at this point. There is Mueller with heavy damage to the nose. Lingerfeld went into the grass. I think he missed the commitment line. He's just now getting back on the pit road. He was ahead, actually. He's good to go on pit road, but some heavy damage there.
Oh, well, the damage is done in a race that he needed one of those Hail Mary passes. Yeah, that's going to be big-time damage at a race where you cannot afford any type of aero damage. So big-time hits there between essentially teammates, Dark Tank Racing and Tank Racing teammates there taking that one. But the lead's going to cycle out to Trevor Williams, who was that first truck to come down pit road. He's one of those drivers sitting on that outside looking in. He's going to have his teammate Ryan Johnson just behind him. Jose Castellanos coming out there in 3rd. Herman and Lyons going to round out top 5 after those green flag pit stops.
And I tell you what, that shows how good of an entry that was for Castellanos and Brad Herman there in third and fourth, because they sat there one lap later. You're about a second and a quarter slower than the trucks that are on fresh tires when you're at the end of that run. They only fell back about half a second, if not maybe 3/4 of a second, from the gap that they had already established at that point. So not too bad of a job there on pit road, and it's going to level out here pretty quickly. But the good news for a lot of these drivers that are trying to maintain points, that are sitting inside the top 10 and in a good position, you see 9 of our top 10 playoff drivers right now. This field's starting to spread out a good bit compared to where it was.
Yeah, you just really see who takes the time to practice these pit road entries, because it can give you a gap like the one you're seeing with Johnson over Castellanos. Now, I don't think it's going to matter, because Castellanos has taken hold of that draft, and he is going to suck right up to this battle here in the top 2 and make it a race here. I think within the next 2 laps, that lead down to 0.6 of a second. He's going to run the high line here, try and get a good run out of 2 and use that draft back here on the backstretch once again.
Yeah, I was kind of curious if that outside was going to hold, if he was going to do a good job there of not just getting that momentum on the exit, but not losing a lot of time in the middle of the turn. He actually did a good job maintaining that. You'll see it drop off, that gap open up just a little bit now into the inside, which is a little bit of a better line, in my opinion, in these trucks through 3 and 4, but still holding on to that draft. I think we're going to see maybe the top 6 start to bunch back up down to Blair Holloman there, but Bobby Anderson about a second and a half back. I don't think he's going to be close enough to really get that pull from Holloman.
So on lap number 50, 2/3 of the way done here tonight, and seeing Andrew Harris is off track here in the 87, looking like he's having some issues.
Oh, wow, that was a dicey moment for some guys there as they were going by on the outside. He about kicked it back up onto the racetrack there. A couple more trucks at speed. He's getting back up to speed. Whatever it was seems to have resolved itself. Wondering if it was cold tires just got him loose, or maybe caught the apron a little bit and just kind of lost the handle on that truck. But no real damage, it doesn't look like.
Not sure, but he's back here in 23rd position now. Well off the pace from the rest of the field. 20 seconds back from our leader, Trevor Williams, out in front. So tough break there for Andrew Harris here, but not counting him out yet. 25 laps to go. You see that hashtag go faster, and it's going to be interesting, like you keep saying, Brandon. Very tight run here on fuel to the end.
And one thing I completely missed, I was looking at where a couple of the guys that were charging through the field are. Landon Cardulo, 1 lap down in 31st. Not sure what happened there to Landon, but all of a sudden, a lap down in about 30 positions back from where he was. I feel like he came into pit road with everybody else. I didn't see anything too out of the ordinary there.
Must have got a black flag or something, possibly. Not too sure. So we don't get those reports here through SDK, but yeah, really surprising. I didn't even notice him back there. Ben Park back here in 29th as well. A few guys that were running up towards the front. Lingerfeld going to cycle out to 27th after that incident with Josh Mueller. Josh Mueller is still on pit road, possibly out of this race in 30 seconds. So a lot happening on that round of pit stops, but that lead starting to shrink here for these 2 JW Racing trucks. Castellanos slowly starting to run them down.
And more importantly, one in the wall coming back down. Yeah, he keeps it up, back up into the wall, but I think he kind of put himself up there, seeing that the leaders were coming down to the inside and trying to keep it up as best as he could. I think we'll see the 64 possibly come down the pit road this time with that pretty heavy damage there to the right side of that truck. But so a scary moment averted. But one thing I was just noticing and about to point out is Jose Castellanos has pulled up towards Ryan Johnson by about a half second back now. But more importantly, he's over a second ahead of Brad Herman. So he might have left Brad Herman out of the possibility of getting that toe in the draft and might be breaking this up into a 3-horse race.
Yeah, about a second and a quarter lead over Brad Herman. I think that's going to be just enough, like you said, to possibly not provide any draft for that 85. So he's still got some support back there with Blair Holloman just behind him, his Zuyos Racing teammate there. But they're going to need to work to get up here as they're starting to lose pace.
One in the wall off of turn number 2, I believe it is. It looks like Walt Lepicki once again, I think he's just off pace and just caught the wall getting loose. But trying to make sure, oh, wow, as he works his way through 3 and 4, making sure that nobody gets in the way there. And he's going to stay out of that on the high line, but a lot of damage there to the 64. Not sure who got into him, but definitely saw a little bit of contact there.
So Walt Lipicki struggling to get to the end of this one, but we're about to see a side-by-side race potentially here. Thinks better of it. Johnson tucks back in behind his teammate here in the 46, who needs this win and some help. And I'd be curious to know right now. I just can't crunch numbers and talk, but 18 points off that cut line, and Harris not having the night he was hoping to have. Jensic having a decent night in 13th, and Ben Park back there in 29th. Is it still possible for Williams to maybe make a run at this?
It's still very possible for him to make a run at this, because you think about it, the win is 40 points, plus the 3 bonus points for winning. Obviously leading a lap. He's on par to maybe lead the most laps. If he keeps it clean, that's 46 points, and you're looking at, Ben Park in 29th. It's a whole lot of points lost. Andrew Harris in 23rd. Whole lot of points lost. This could open the door wide open for Williams and, I was about to say Castellanos, but Castellanos just into the wall there right around the start-finish line.
It's kind of a weird track that can jump out and get you when you're least expecting it. You really build a sense of comfort here at Michigan with how wide it is, but you get a little too close to that wall, it will grab you, and it did just that with that 5, but he stays within 7/10 of a second, and within that draft, I do believe, but these two really pushing hard together down these straightaways is making it hard for this 5 to make up any ground. So we'll see if maybe Jose's saving a little bit more. I know Trevor Williams came in a lap before everybody else did, so we'll see if he can make it to the end. Might be getting a little bit of assistance from his teammate there in the 48, but would think if they were really concerned, maybe he would hop in behind this 48, maybe get a little tow.
That's a tough one because, Ryan Johnson's safe. He clinched the number 1 seed out of this round before this race even started by a mile. He's got nothing really to race for at this point. So I'm a little surprised that he hasn't taken the lead and tried to give the tow to the 46 to try to help him get into the playoff position, unless they're thinking every point matters, get that bonus point for leading the most laps. That's the only thing I can really think of. If you're going with the team route on this, I would almost say get that 46 in the draft so he's not having to burn up fuel. But at this point, it's a moot point. He's kind of committed to this at this rate. I don't think even if he did drop back, he would have enough fuel the rest of the way.
And don't forget, we have that team championship going on as well. And I want to go ahead and point out a particular race between Zuyost and Stryker Motorsports. Zuyost has the top 4 and 5 positions right now, but Stryker just ahead with Jose in 3rd. And then you got Raul Meza up to 9th place. So really tight battle between this 3-6 matchup in the team championship as well.
Yeah, we've seen Troy Techmeyer have some technical issues tonight. He's 8 laps down. I believe he dropped for a few laps. Rob Yost running in the 17th position. For Stryker, it really comes down to where Andrew Harris and for Zuyost, where Rob Yost finish at this rate. That's going to be the deciding factor if the other 4 trucks stay in the positions that they are.
Rob Yost up to 16th right now, battling with Jensic here for 15th. And just further back in 23rd is where you'll find Andrew Harris. So he's got some ground to make up. Knows it's a tight battle between Zuyost and Stryker. Still a lot to race for here this evening. Even if he might not advance to the next round, there's another battle to be had and won. So we'll see how the 87 can possibly persevere here. He looks like he is well behind the field. 23 seconds. He's about half a track behind our leaders. So just goes to show what all that damage has done to that 87. And whatever was going on there through turns 1 and 2 seems to have got it figured out. But right now, nothing changing up front, except they're putting a little bit of distance between themselves and the 5 of Castellanos now.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's a little arrow factor that after catching the wall just a bit there for Castellanos, or if it just opened enough of a gap that he kind of lost that strong of a pull in the draft, and he's kind of stuck in no man's land right now, a second behind Johnson, a second in front of Herman, just nowhere really for him to get any support there to try to pull back up.
So these two stay nose to tail, and it looks like we got a few pit stops here. Lucas Lyons coming down pit road. Bobby Anderson also coming down pit road. Both of those drivers were inside the top 10 when they made those pit stops. So we'll see if everyone else has that same feeling that they just cannot make it, like Brandon said not too long ago. So Brandon, looking like you were right.
Yeah, and I'm really curious if that's going to be a splash or if that's going to be actual tires going on there. Trying to get a look at Bobby Anderson. Looks like he did take tires here on this
9.3
stop.
seconds, yeah.
Yeah, he took 2 tires, just right sides only, while getting fueled up the rest of the way. A splash would have been fine. They just need about 4 laps of fuel, 3 laps of fuel maybe, to get in there. And oh wow, real hot on the pit road. Think that cone showed up just in time, though, where that 66 Jonathan Byer slowed up just ahead or just behind that cone. So we see Zala, Yost, we see, the 35
Zala.
Kerr. I always feel like 35 changes in every series, and it throws me off every time. But yeah, James Kerr in there as well on the pit road. But the leader's staying out here as we're getting about 20 laps into this run since that pit stop. They're going to be – I just don't see that I just don't see it stretching out far enough here, especially for Trevor Williams. I don't think there's going to be enough fuel in the tank there to get it the rest of the way if it stays green.
Yeah, and a real opportunity for an undercut here with Jose Castellanos possibly. I think I would take the chance of maybe trying to come down before these JW Racing trucks. The lap's ticking off, so that leaves less time for these guys to possibly make a run at that lead. So we'll see how it works out because they are putting some time. Actually, Castellanos now making up some time as he gets a little bit of a pull from that 18 truck who's already come down pit road. Much faster tires there as he's got 2 tires on that last pit stop. So a little more speed for the 18. You see Lucas Lyons pull up in front of the 5 as well. He's going to pull this 5 back up into the mix.
That's a huge moment right there because getting that tow, he's going to get a big run, a lot more speed in that 7 truck right now with 2 fresh tires on it. So we see the 49 of Nick Helda making his way onto pit road as well. He's going to be the second of the playoff contenders here that are around that cut line closely to make their way down pit road. Bobby Anderson being the first one within the mix. And caution out on the racetrack. That is huge.
Yeah, it's coming out for Walt Lepicki here, who quickly takes the tow down pit road. And not sure, I don't think anybody got trapped a lap down because you saw Bobby Anderson and Lucas Lyons get that pit or that lap back just before that yellow came out. So let's go ahead, cue up that Sparkle and Shine mobile detail and rec replay, figure out what happened. Might have been the 64 coming off pit road.
Definitely coming off pit road. Way off the race
and just stop. Yeah.
Of all the things that iRacing doesn't catch that happen in the infield or closer to the inside wall, that one it caught.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate too. That was going to be a great run to the end, but that is what does it. Not sure why people just don't park it on pit road there if you know you're going to end it, but hey, that's just me. So caution comes out for the second time here this evening, and I think pit road going to get pretty busy here.
Very. And just to catch up, lucky dog should be Lucas Lyons. Jonathan Byer is a lap down. Ben Park, Andrew Harris, Landon Cardulo all trapped a lap down as well.
Yeah, so that is big time news for some of these guys trying to get in to that cut line mix here. So we'll see how it shakes out for them. They're all going to have to take that wave around as every leader comes on down pit road. What do you do here, Brandon? We saw 2 tires work yesterday. 4 tires or 2 tires? What's your call?
If I'm in position where I know that I've got to win this race or get close to it, I want track position. I'll take 2 tires out there and risk it. But we're seeing Trevor Williams go 4. He's taking the gamble here. He's going to fall back a few positions as we got AJ Pritchett is going to jump through all the way out into the lead. And he's one of the drivers that's still behind the cut line, 20 points back entering this race.
Well, this has been a wild night in this truck series. Why not come down to what a wild finish this one is going to be? I have no idea who is going to move on here in this round of 10 in the next race when we go out to Chicago. But right now, AJ Pritchett making a stab at it.
That is a huge play, and I have zero issue going with that bold strategy here. If you're AJ Pritchett, you got to take the home run cut. Taking 4 tires there was not going to get you a win. You pretty much need a win at this point. You got to go something way off the wall. I don't even think he took tires. If he did, he took 2. It's a
5.5 second
gamble.
pit stop, yeah.
That's no tires. So that is a gamble and a half, but you got to get that track position. And hey, everybody's stacked up. A whole lot of guys with playoff pressure on them right now. Might not be the last caution that we see. This could work out perfectly if you're Pritchett.
And Blair Holloman just behind him. He made a 2-tire pit stop as AJ Pritchett comes down pit road. So that's going to cycle the lead out to Blair Holloman here. So not sure what happened, but going to give that lead to the 06, who is the only driver to try that 2-tire stop. Trevor Williams, Ryan Johnson, Herman, Lane Doyle going to round out the top 5. All those drivers taking 4 tires. So we saw it work last night in a green-white checker race to the end. 7 laps, a little bit of a different story.
Yeah, 7 laps is a long way, and my thought originally was that there were going to be a whole lot more people taking 2 tires. I think with just 1, Blair Holloman on 2 tires, that's a pretty lonely feeling right there. My gut feeling was you were going to see about a handful of guys really doing that. Just 1, that's not the spot you want to be in. Blair is going to be trying to hang on for all he's got here against a field with 4 fresh Goodyear tires out there right now.
Seeing an update from Sean in the chat saying Lepicki's engine blew up. So that explains exactly why that happened, and he had to park it there. So makes a lot of sense now after getting a little bit informed. So thanks, Sean, for that. So also pointing out that 2 tires won last night. We'll see if it works here tonight. For Blair, finished 3rd last week at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Can he pull off the win here tonight at Michigan International Speedway? A lot of JW racing trucks trying to say not to that. So we'll see as that pace car peels off down the pit road. And we're getting ready to see that Silverback Tax Solutions green flag waving once again here at Michigan.
Great jump on 2 tires there for Blair Holloman. Normally that's a little bit difficult to do, but taking that outside line, he felt comfortable up there. And he makes it work very well. He's going to get a good run down into turn 1. Can run it down to the inside if he chooses to. He does do that. Nice line there. He needs to get away here in these first couple of laps. Let the tires kind of heat back up, equalize a little bit. But he might not have time to do that because that 46 with a big run to the inside.
Yeah, unfortunately lost his Zuyos Racing teammate for a little bit, but it's now going to get him back there on the outside if Brad Herman can get to the bumper. But I don't think it's going to matter as a big push for Williams out to the front by the 48 of Ryan Johnson. Hellman goes really high as they go 3 wide through 3 and 4. Castellanos back up to 3rd. See if he can make a charge for this win.
Yeah, Blair, I think, was really trying to keep the pace and just didn't have that pace in those older left side tires. That little bit of imbalance there. 3 wide, nearly 4 wide behind the race leaders here. Tight racing through 1 and 2.
Yeah, Sean Jensick, and I believe that's Lane Doyle getting really close. Michael Madden making a hard charge to the front. He's going to take a look to the inside of this 5. They make contact. Gets the 5 loose as he enters turn 3, but he's going to make a push here for 3rd. Clears him. Has his teammate Jensick just behind him. Slides up to the track here, blocking Brad Herman's run out of turn 4. And Madden now sets his sights on these JW Racing trucks just ahead.
Man, that's aggressive racing for a couple of guys that don't have to be aggressive if you're Herman and Madden.
Oh, and he gets turned!
Oh, he went for a late block, and he gets sliding through 1. Not going to hit anybody yet. Hopefully he gets back up to speed. Wow, great save. Ultra-aggressive racing bites Michael Madden. Good news for him, relatively safe in points.
Well, Jensick wanting to pick up right where he left off here in 6th place side by side with Castellanos, trying to move up to the top 5 here. He's got Brad Herman, Lane Doyle just in front of him, 3rd and 4th place as the leaders, Williams and Johnson, start to set pace and pull away. 4 laps to go here. These guys are going to have to work together if they're going to try and take these guys' win away.
By the way, checking back in on the man that took 2 tires, Blair Holloman. You see him there on the inside, right behind Nathan Nixon, 2nd in line on that inside. He's still holding in that 8th position. Those tires starting to equalize. He's got some speed back in it. Just lost those 7 positions, but see if he can make something back up.
Wow, Meza and Blair Holloman really close there as Meza gets a little loose entering turn 3 there. He's trying to find some ground and make some passes as he's currently running in the top 10 as well. Daniel Park also getting in the mix too, and that's 6. And we got a third caution out here. I believe it's Michael Madden. Wow.
Oh, hello.
Wow, so that changes things here as he takes the tow down pit road. We're going to bring out that Sparkle and Shine mobile detailing rec replay.
Keep in mind, he was plus 46 to 12th. He was plus 28 to that three-way tie. Not a guarantee for Michael Madden. Just a little contact there as they were racing each other tight. That's AJ Pritchett in the orange truck. And then just as he got loose, got kind of finished off there. And,
wow.
oh, hello.
Oh
Andrew Harris got in that, though, too.
So this sends him spinning like a top and comes to a rest there on the infield here. Turns 3 and 4. Let's go ahead and take another look at that from Andrew Harris here. I'm not going to go on board with Madden as that was a crazy ride there, but let's go ahead and find Andrew Harris. So he's well behind all this happening. We're going to see Madden take a ride here as he goes up into the wall right there just in front of him. Harris not going to have too much time to react as that car just goes.
I mean, how do you predict? How do you predict that, where that's going to go? That is just, I mean, you don't know. But that's going to end the night for Michael Madden. And looking at where this is going to finish off, that's going to put him around 29th, maybe 30th if we get another green-white checker after this one.
And with Williams in first.
That's not safe. That's not safe. This is going to be tight there if you're Michael Madden now.
Wow. And that really helps the Ben Parks and the Andrew Harrises who've not had the night they needed here and were possibly facing elimination. So things just really got shaken up there with that incident not too long ago. So let's go ahead, get back down there on the track as nobody opting, just a few cars, Landon Cardulo opting to take a run down pit road on this last lap.
And he had to wait last time. He was a wave-around driver, wasn't able to make that pit stop, so definite necessity there for Landon Cardulo, probably to make it the rest of the way on fuel even. But why not get some tires there? So he's going to pick up a few spots here with the fresh tires, I would imagine. But look at this all of a sudden on the left side of the screen. It's now about 50-50. On green numbers and red numbers inside that top 20. We're starting to see some of these playoff drivers start to bite some trouble, and this is going to be really interesting in how this shakes up. How a Nathan Nixon, a Dan Park, a Raul Meza, a Connor Cunningham, Taylor Smith, guys like that, how they can affect this playoff race and these spoiler roles here for some of these guys that are around that top outside the top 10, but inside the top 20. It's a rough position to be in for some of these guys that are close to that cut line.
Brandon, I'm not sure if you're paying attention to the chat, but Seth Reed really wants me to go on board. I don't think I'm going to do it. I'm going to save everybody's dinner. I see Seth Reed out there in the chat. Thanks for stopping by, Seth. He's begging me to go on board. Not gonna do it to our viewers out there. Got to keep our viewers here, Seth. But pace car lights are off, and we're about to get this thing kicked back off here with another green-white checker here tonight.
Maybe, if we can clip that, maybe we can throw that on social media somewhere.
Yes, we could do that. So I hope that works, Seth. I hope that makes you happy.
We'll play it safe and let everybody view it at their own discretion.
Well, the pace car lights, like I said, off. Kind of a new top 10. Ryan Johnson, Trevor Williams out front. Williams going to lead the way back to the stripe. Doyle there in third, so a all-podium JW Racing right now. That might change with a hungry Herman Jensic rounding out the top 5. Nathan Nixon, Blair Holloman, Jose Castellanos, and Raul Meza and Daniel Park rounding out the top 10. Great runs for these drivers in 9th, 10th, and 11th, too. Park up 24 positions, Meza up 21 where he started, and Connor Cunningham up 20 positions. And hey, by the way, Taylor Smith up 22 there in 13th. Some great runs to the front for some of these guys.
Big-time runs, and a lot of runs that are going to really play out on that Tier 2 championship standings, currently led by Taylor Smith in that 24.
Yeah, so Trevor Williams gets them back underway with the Silverback Tax Solutions green flag 2-lap race to the end.
I have a feeling in a shootout like this, Ryan Johnson and Lane Doyle's job, block like crazy.
Smith.
Try to help out, and we're going to re-rack it.
Taylor Smith involved in this one?
Of course, right after we say something complimentary, it bites somebody.
There's no such thing as a broadcaster's case. Come on. So let's go ahead, check out another
man.
Sparkle and Shine mobile detailing. I do believe that was our first attempt at a green-white checker, so we will have 2 more here tonight.
That it was. That was an official green-white checker, so this is going to be attempt number 2. Jonathan Byer, big run to the inside. I'm not sure either Taylor Smith didn't know. Wow, heavy impact.
Wow.
Oh!
That was Techmeyer there.
And that's, oh man, Troy Techmeyer, rough night. Had some issues with the connection, and now issues with connection to the ground as he got launched on that one. Another truck getting airborne here. So we're right on board with him. There's Smith going down to the inside, backs into the wall hard, just nowhere really for Techmeyer to go. Man alive, we are seeing some wild rides tonight.
Yeah, this is... I hope this makes you happy, Seth. You got your flips here. That was about 7 barrel rolls for Troy Techmeyer, and I believe his night's done. We heard that engine expire as he was flying through the air there. So big crash here for the 4th caution of the night. Taylor Smith, the Tier 2 championship leader, not going to like that one too much after having a great run through the field early on here this evening. So,
as weird as this sounds, sorry, that wreck for Troy Techmeyer might actually help Michael Madden. Troy Techmeyer was the one that was in real possibility of passing by staying out, passing Michael Madden. Because of that wreck, not going to be able to. That's going to keep Madden from losing another point.
I don't know, man. I don't know how you do it with all these numbers going on in your head, but you and Sean do a great job. Looking to get an update from Sean. He'll give us that official update, hopefully, by the end of this broadcast. We'll know exactly who the 10 or maybe 11 drivers are who are going to move on here tonight. But before we get this next green-white checker, we're going to go ahead and step aside for a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Silverback Tax Solutions specializes in dealing with IRS tax problems. If you are receiving threatening letters from the IRS, or if the IRS has placed liens or levies on your property, Silverback Tax Solutions can help you find relief. We have worked with hundreds of people to resolve their tax problems. If you're behind on filing your taxes, it's never too late to get on the right track. Silverback Tax Solutions can help with that also. Don't let another night go by where you lose sleep worrying about the IRS or your taxes. Head over to www.silverbacttax.com or call 662-996-4357 and contact an enrolled agent today. We can help you gain peace of mind and deal with those problems for you.
Want to be a part of an established league on iRacing? A league that's competitive, fun, and above all fair? Look no further than Speed Racing Network. Originally known as Mid-South Madness, SRN has evolved into a league that can bring the best out in any given driver. Drivers work their way up through the ranks to hopefully one day call themselves a champion of Speed Racing Network. If you're interested in joining, don't hesitate to reach out to league admins to claim your spot today. Maybe you'll end up in the history books. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor in Speed Racing Network, feel free to head over to www.speedracingnetwork.com and reach out to an admin today. And as always, remember to go faster.
All right, we're back here with this epic conclusion to this race here tonight. We're going to try this second attempt at a green-white checker after this 4th caution of the night. Charles Williams still out in front. His teammate Ryan Johnson to his side. Lane Doyle going to restart in 3rd. Brad Herman 4th. And Nathan Nixon and Sean Jensick in row 3. That's Silverback Tax Solutions. Green flag back out as Nick Halder.
Oh, no. Halda Anderson believe it was Connor Cunningham involved as well.
We're still green.
No. Still. Okay, well, still green. All right. And if you're going to win this race, you're going to have to beat 3 JW trucks because you know that 48 and the 47 are just going to be blocking the whole way, trying to push Trevor Williams to a win and what might be a walk-off win from 20 points back. This might be massive.
Yeah, so they're going to go through turns 3 and 4, all defending that 85. Last season's defending Truck Series champion, Brad Herman. They're going to come to the stripe this time and see that white flag waving. But we got a wreck back here. Does that bring out the caution? And it does.
Caution. Wow. And it's a JW truck. That's the 45 of Dean Gagliano, and that is going to re-rack it one more time. Unbelievable. That was about 50 feet before the line.
Oh, boy. Yeah, we've seen this happen multiple times where people will take that white flag, and unfortunately, a caution that comes out before these guys cross the stripe brings out the yellow flag, and that's exactly what happens as we saw 3 wide racing that ended up in the 45 taking quite a spin here.
And I tell you what, I hate seeing it that close to the line, and it looks like we just had 4 wide racing. Yeah, that was 3 wide into 4 wide with a big run in the middle as well.
That's Ferguson to his outside there in the 40.
Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of net code. I think just like we were saying earlier, there was going to be contact anyway. In a way, I mean, we had the wreck right before that start, that restart. I almost feel like this is kind of making up for it in a way. But it's a rough moment there if you're Trevor Williams because now you got to do this one more time. Yeah, a little net code, but I think that was coming anyway.
Sends that 45 really spinning through the front stretch. Big time hit for Ferguson, too, in that 40. So we're going to try and get this cleaned up as you see it right there. They're going to put that one on the 45 of Dean Gagliano. So no surprise there after seeing that replay, that Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing wreck replay. So the 45 going to go ahead and drop to the back of the pack. And we're going to have one more stab at this green-white checker. Taking a few extra laps here. We thought we had a nice short evening here tonight. This thing was ticking off, Brandon. Not so fast here. We're going to get this thing kicked off with a 6th restart of the night here in about 2 laps.
Yeah, I mean, this was almost a flip of what we saw last year where we saw a lot of cautions early, and then we saw 1 caution in the second half of the race. This time we saw 1 caution in the first half and then a whole slew of cautions here late in this one, and it kind of fits. It's a cutoff race. There's a lot on the line here for a lot of these drivers, and we're seeing the intensity really ramp up with these late restarts when you can make up as many points as possible. I think there's been some guys that are in a comfortable position that have maybe just gambled a little too much on the aggressiveness, but there's a lot of guys that need to be aggressive here in this one, and that's where we just start seeing these kind of incidents start popping up on the track.
Let's go ahead and check in on that butt kicker hard charger right now. Raul Meza currently in contention of taking that here tonight. Currently up 24 positions from where he started, up in 7th, but heavy damage to the front of that 37. Not sure if he's going to be able to maintain that with a bunch of clean trucks around him.
No, and if he's not, Dan Park right behind him in the 6th truck also on that same pace, plus 24. The only reason he's not the hard charger right now is because he's in a lower running position than Raul Meza. So if Meza, that damage catches up to him, Dan Park, this is his hard charger to win.
Yeah, so a tight race all around in the team championship and the individual championship, as well as Tier 2 championship. Why not the hard charger standings, too? That's why we got him here on SRN, and that's why you come to watch. So don't take your eyes off of this one. I think we know what's about to happen, and it's going to be some very big defensive plays here for JW Racing as they're trying to get their 46 machine over into the next round, get 3 out of their 4 drivers into that round of 10 as Nick Howda had to take a vacation during this first round. So they'll drop one of their trucks, but trying to take 3 out of 10, not bad.
And kind of looking at it, this sets up really well for Trevor Williams also because who's right behind these 3 JW trucks? Got Brad Herman. pretty safe. He doesn't really have to risk anything. Sean Jensic came into this race tied on that cut line battle, but he's in a position now where he doesn't have to be that aggressive. There's not really anybody that has to be super aggressive until you get to 7th place Jose Castellanos. So this is going to be one of those things that I think this is playing out perfect for the 46, and he might have an escort here with the JW tandem that's going to be right behind him, just kind of leading the charge.
So pace car goes down pit road. The 6th restart underway as that Silverback Tax Solutions green flag back out here for the final attempt at a green-white checker here tonight.
See that back half of the pack, a lot of trucks all damaged and off pace trying to get going, but we stay green, not going to have another overtime. No matter what, Castellanos, big run for sure, trying to get every position he can. It might have overshot that turn just a good bit there.
Really dicey moment for him as all these trucks scattering and desperately trying to get to the white flag is going to be Trevor Williams. He doesn't care right now. The next flag will end it regardless of what happens here. So the 46 coming back around turns 3 and 4. Herman trying to take away that 3rd position from Lane Doyle. See if he can get up here, spoil the party. He's going to try and use that side draft to put some air on the nose of the 47. But that white flag is out. 1 lap to go.
Brad Herman thinking, I don't have to be aggressive, but I sure would like to get a win here, as he's trying to make that charge now to the inside of Ryan Johnson. Don't think he's got the truck to get there just yet. Still going to stay side by side with 3rd place Lane Doyle at this point, and it is clear sailing ahead of that 46 of Trevor Williams. Might have another walk-off here in this cutoff round.
That would be crazy. So the 46, not much pressure from behind as they're 3 wide for 2nd. Herman trying to take 2nd, but Williams going to come back to the stripe to take the win here at Michigan. Who's going to take the next 2 spots? Looking like it's a sweep for JW Racing.
Oh my goodness, 200ths of a second separating 2nd from 4th. Ryan Johnson 2nd, Lane Doyle 3rd, Brad Herman 4th. Top 8 all within 0.8 of a second.
So a great race as always here in the Truck Series. But this man, Trevor Williams, claims his 2nd win of the season after winning in Pocono a few weeks ago. Been a little while since this 46 has been able to taste energy. He's going to put that watermelon Rogue Energy Chevy Silverado out on the front stretch and burn it down for his JW Racing teammates here. Great night for all 3 of them. We're going to be talking to these guys in just a second, but hey, we got to get to that TJ's team a winning moment before we do that. Trevor Williams, burn it down.
And for Trevor Williams, it's been a rough run these past few weeks. His last top 20 finish was at Auto Club 5 races ago. Only had 2 races in the first 10 outside of the top 20. All that might be erased now. If that was just enough, we think it might be just enough, but we're going to have to wait for those numbers to come out and get crunched. It's going to be tight, but this might be a walk-off of the narrowest margins, or maybe just coming up just a bit short, because one thing I noticed, Andrew Harris, one of those drivers that were tied to that cut line, he ran all the way back up to 10th place. Ben Park back up to 14th place. That field tightened right back up here at those cautions late.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if it's going to be enough for the 46. It's going to be close regardless of what happens, but right now he's got one thing on his mind, and that is celebrating after a well-deserved victory here tonight. I think he scooped up as many bonus points as he could. I do believe he came away with the most laps led here this evening, and
clean race as well.
Yeah, clean race. That's an extra point, but the only thing he missed out on really is that pole position point, and he's going to park it here, and he is going to be done with that TJ's team winning moment. So we're going to go ahead and take it back up to the blimp and check out our results here tonight for race number 3 of the round of 16. So Trevor Williams and his teammates, Ryan Johnson, Lane Doyle, sweep the top 3 podium positions here for JW Racing. Brad Herman and Sean Jensic round out the top 5.
And the next group of 5, Nathan Nixon going to be the highest finishing non-playoff driver, sitting in the 6th position. Jonathan Byer, nice recovery, back up to 7th. Raul Meza, another strong run, even with that damage, holds on and does, I do believe, get the Hard Charger Award with an 8th place finish, plus 23 on the night. Lucas Lyons finishing in the 9th position. Andrew Harris, great recovery, back up to being the last truck inside the top 10.
Yeah, great run for Harris back up to the top 10. Knew he needed it. We'll see if it works out for him to move on here to the round of 10. Landon Cardulo, 11th coming in tonight. Sean Kozier comes home in 12th. Great run for him in that 97. Daniel Park falls back to 13th after flirting with a top 10 finish here tonight. His brother Ben Park just behind him in 14th, and Jacob Zala going to round out that top 15.
Jose Castellanos with a great run tonight finds up in the 16th position, though, after trying to get everything he could there on that last restart. Rob Yost, big run up 19 positions to 17th. Blair Holloman, another one of those drivers that was very tight to that cut line in 18th place. Jason Kratke will be in 19th, and rounding out the top 20 out of 24 trucks finishing on the lead lap will be James Kerr.
So that is a look at your top 20 here this evening. Let's go ahead and move on to the broadcast, or the post-race interview portion of the broadcast, I should say. And you know what, Brandon? I think you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to bring all three of these guys up here tonight as they sweep the whole podium. Lane Doyle, Ryan Johnson, Trevor Williams, congratulations on a great night. I want to go ahead and start with Lane. Tell me about that run here tonight, kind of boosting your confidence here the last couple of weeks as you've really starting to pick up these really good finishes week in, week out. How you feeling as now you're staring down the round of 10 and the action going to start picking up here a little bit?
Well, I've definitely got momentum on my side, which is I've been wanting since Phoenix, so it's finally good to get some wind in my sails again. Although, like Phoenix, I once again got bested by Ryan at the line, so you take what you can. By 4 thousandths this time around. But I'm excited to get in the next round. I didn't have a great qualifying; had to start in 20th, but made my way up.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that plus 19, very impressive. But, you start working through, and obviously you and Ryan both locked in at the start of this race with the field that we had tonight. So a little bit of pressure off, but, man, the way that thing played out, I got to imagine the goal there on those restarts and overtime was just kind of be the blockade there and try to help out Trevor. But how intense were those 3 overtime restarts here with all the pressure, with all those guys racing for the points there at the very end?
Well, like I said, me and Ryan are locked into the point, so we were just going out to show off and hopefully get a win. But when Trevor got to the front, we decided we're going to become a wall for those last 4 restarts. That was our plan. We weren't going to make a move on him. We could have battled side by side coming to the line. We're not going to just let each other win. But we decided that up until turn 4, we are going to be a wall for Trevor. And I think that worked out, seeing as he got to the win today.
Well, I want to go ahead and move on to Ryan. Ryan, your streak of wins ends, but does it feel like a victory here tonight after a great run with your teammates? Trevor coming away with that win, but you come home in second after 3 straight wins and 6 on the season. I think you can put up with a second-place runner-up finish here tonight, right?
I will take that all day if it's a teammate. We're like Lane said, everything we could do to help out Trevor, get another one of our guys up there and keep him going. We're going to do it. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would have had something for him or not. I really screwed up coming to the checkered in 3 and 4. I don't know what I was doing. I went way too high, but yeah, man, hopefully we can get some wins later on. I mean, at this point, we just want to stay up there, and the only win we'll be gunning for at the end is, well, that last race. If we can make it there, and hopefully we have as many of our guys in there as we can get.
Well, I'll keep up the run that y'all have. I think on the individual side and the team side, very likely going to be there in a big part once we get to Homestead in that final race. And one thing I kind of wanted to ask was on that team side, obviously y'all max out points tonight, the top 3 positions all being a clean sweep there on the podium for y'all. I don't think we've ever seen a team put up, it's going to be probably around 340 points in 3 races. I don't think we've seen that kind of a run in any type of round. So I think seeing first, and second from you individually, seeing your team put up numbers I really don't think we've seen in this entire time. What's going on there right now? And I know we talk about it all season long, and just the practice and everything, but to get to the playoffs, different time of year, and it seems like y'all stepped up even more.
I wish I had a better answer, but I mean, all the practice that all of us put in. Justin, he guides us. He tells us, try this, and we go out and try it, and we put in, our 2 cents and come to a conclusion, and it ends up working for us in the end. Um, all we got to do is, drive and stay out of trouble, which has been difficult at times this season, but tonight it worked out great.
It certainly did as you guys come home with those top 3 positions. But now I want to go ahead and move on to the man of the hour and pull in Trevor Williams and pick your brain a little bit. What was going through your mind here? You came into tonight 20 points back of the cut line. Did you know it was kind of a win, you must win situation, which you kind of worked out with your teammates here? Do you think you got enough to move into the next round?
I mean, if I didn't, we did all we could do. That's all, there's nothing else we could do there. I knew that it was a winner you're in thing. I've just, honestly, man, it just feels good to break this bad luck streak. I've been having a really bad streak of getting caught up in other people's stuff and maybe my own doing, getting caught in the pits under caution, all kinds of stuff. So it feels good to break the streak.
Yeah, we were talking about that at the end of the race there, that it's been a rough run there for a couple of weeks here, the last 5 or so races, just trying to get consistent back again. But this win, just puts you right back there in the momentum. Should you advance to the next round, just kind of erases everything. But, I mean, man, to do it in this fashion, clutch moment. We're still waiting on the points, obviously, but just absolutely clutch no matter what. What does that do psyche-wise just to get everything turned back around?
It feels good. Regardless of what it does for my psyche, it just feels good to get a team win like this tonight. I couldn't have done it without Ryan and Lane, and I mean, hopefully we can get through to these points. If we don't, I'm just going to keep racing hard, and maybe I'll get in a situation where I can help them out in the next round. But it just, regardless of psyche or anything like that or how we move on, it feels good to get another win. It's been a long run since Pocono.
Yeah, absolutely. And just, the last time top 20 was at Auto Club, so these 2-mile D-shaped ovals might be a pretty good feeling, especially after tonight. But I think the big thing, too, we had, I brought it up with Lane, but we had those 3 overtime restarts, and obviously you got teammates right behind you, but what's going through your mind when you just keep re-racking it and you have to do it all over again with that whole field behind you?
It wasn't fun, and I can tell you, every time coming off turn 2, I could see Ryan getting huge in my mirror, so I knew that the draft was huge, and I was a sitting duck if I didn't have those guys. So, I mean, hats off to them. That's real teamwork. That's what we get here at JW Racing. Every practice before a race, every warm-up, everything, we all work together. We're a huge team. We don't goof around. It's business, and it shows on the racetrack.
Well, Trevor Williams, I have news for you. Up on the screen right now, I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but you're in the green, my friend, by 1 point over
Wow.
Benjamin Park. So you are moving on, my friend, to the round
Oh,
of
yeah.
10.
Woo!
Ben Park, Blair Holloman, Jose Castellanos, Kyle Lingerfelt, AJ Pritchett, and Nick Halda all going to go home in this postseason. So congratulations on that. Brandon, we were talking behind the scenes, and we knew it was going to be close, but not that close.
Man, 1 point. I've been on the wrong side of that. I can tell you that's not a good feeling. I would imagine 1 point to the good. An amazing feeling right now. 12 points from 6th all the way. Man, that is tight. But, man, Trevor, congratulations with that walk-off. 2nd straight night in a row we've seen a walk-off to make it to the next round.
Yeah, thanks. Feels good. There's a little bit of a heart attack, a little bit of a, close one, but we'll take it.
Well, before we let you guys go, I know you all have the same sponsors. So, Trevor, you got any friends, any family, any sponsors you want to give a quick shout-out to here?
Yeah, of course. First and foremost, I want to shout out my mom and dad. They're always watching, and they love this stuff, so I appreciate what you guys do for them and for us, and got to thank my teammates. It was a team victory tonight. JW Racing, Maxon, Merritt Mechanical, Rofu Sport, MMA, Saloon Door Sports, and if you go to Rogue Energy, their website, you put in the code JW Racing, you'll get a little discount on some energy drinks. They're real good.
Awesome, man. We'll try to calm down after that insane finish to the first round of these playoffs. Congratulations once again. And go have fun, man. Celebrate an awesome night. First round for your teammates here at JW Racing. Overall, great start to these playoffs, man. Losing one of your teammates in Nick Halda, as you know, he had to go on vacation. But 3 of you moving on, that's a good chance of seeing you guys move on to the top 5. Best of luck next week in Chicago. But, hey, have fun celebrating for the rest of the night, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Greg.
it, guys.
All right, Brandon. Well, man, that was an impressive end to this race and the playoffs here in general in SRN. I don't think we could have even made that script up.
No, and man, I mean, you think about everything that we've seen here this week, and going back to even the cutoff before the playoffs started, that is 3 times we've seen somebody make up a gap of double-digit points, if not much more than 10, 15 points, getting a win when they absolutely needing it, and then get into the playoffs by just 1 point, a couple points. We have seen some dramatic finishes here, and we still got 1 race left this week to settle the round of 10 in the Xfinity side. But this truck series, we always say it and we always mean it, just one of the best shows you can find that these drivers put on there. These trucks, the way that they handle out there, always close racing, and plays out in the points as well.
Yeah, so once again, a look at those drivers that are moving on. Ryan Johnson, obviously he's moving on after that. Healthy gap over the cut line coming into this race. Lane Doyle, he was in the green coming into this one, but Herman, Jonathan Byer, Landon Cardulo, Michael Madden, Sean Jensick, Andrew Harris makes it into the next round as well. Bobby Anderson narrowly making it in to the next round too. It got really tight there towards the end, which is what you were kind of foreshadowing, Brandon. It looked good with that 18-point advantage over the rest of the guys, but it got tight at the end. So might see a lot of the same here tomorrow in that Xfinity Series race in Michigan. Another very tight cut line battle over there. Brandon, you're not going to have to worry too much about that. You're going to be focusing on getting that win and spoiling that Tier 2 championship that you're pretty high up in those standings already.
Yeah, that's the hope. A lot less pressure right now, and I think that's kind of helped with some pretty good runs here lately. But yeah, really looking forward to seeing how all the points racing plays out on that side. I know it's super close on the Xfinity standings as well, and man, just going to be a good time watching that all play out, and hopefully we can make it as dramatic as it was here tonight.
So definitely come on back. We got one more race this week, same time, same place. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell so you know exactly when we go live. We'll put the Xfinity Series cars to the test here at Michigan International Speedway tomorrow night. We'll figure out who's going to move on in the round of 10 over there. But man, it was a wild finish to the first 2 nights here. Definitely come on back for that one. But we're going to wrap it up here this evening and leave you guys with a little celebration for the 46 here who throws that Hail Mary and it lands in the end zone. So for myself, Brandon Domain, all the admins behind the scenes, and each and every one of the drivers, we sincerely appreciate you guys for stopping on by. Please come on back and have a good night. Always remember to go faster.